a minute or two? Okay. Um, what I'm gonna. Oh, okay, hold on. Did I just get something? Okay. So, what I want to um, go over, I know create lists. I'm gonna put a little bit further because I want to give it as much time as possibly can. So I'm gonna cover other reports and statistics and whatever else I have on that agenda. And after that, I cover the create list. That way, um, I can get into it as much as I can. The reports, you said that you use Edifact. So this is the one way also to get your accept reject reports if you do um, the the shipping. And so you can just choose one, and it gives you the list of what is. This is for accepting and reporting. I'm sorry. This is to process the invoice. So these are the ones that have not been processed. But the other thing that is also available in here, a list or a report on what has happened for each shipment. So if I select one, you see at the bottom of my screen, there is the report. This is a summary of invoice processing. So this was two titles that they were processed. Duplicate and errors. It gives you the list of what it was duplicate and what kind of errors. The report, it tells you that when it was done, when it was loaded, what kind of errors it was there, and then there is also the mark log, which is not showing up here. But that is, if it's set up, then it gives you the mark log for your list. Let me see. I thought I saw a chat. Okay. Oh, I need the way to create annual report on copy to the vendors. Um, the resetting actually will zero them out. So you want to copy the vendors into that into those files. So okay. So if I go to vendors, there's not a whole lot of activities in this. Let me see Yankee sometimes. We haven't had a whole lot of activities in this server. So it's estimated price, invoices total, and how many estimated it has been received. So this is one way to get that information into your vendor record. Let me see if Yankee is here. Yeah, these don't have a whole lot of activities going on with them. So that's for vendor statistics. We talked about electronic invoice processing report, and the other statistics that is available to you is actually statistics function. So one way to use this, you can use create lists and run statistics for that. So in the question that it was in the chat, it was, is there an easy way to create annual report on what we spend by location and by call number? So what I would do in that case, I would create a review file. Let me quickly, before I go back into this, let me go back quickly into if I can get into, I have to say this is manage board run. Okay. In web management report, there is a collection of age of the collection that you can get. It's a very good report. The fund report that we were talking about, some vendor information you can get from here. Of course, there is user and circulation. But for acquisitions, these two, um, especially fund reports and vendor reports, and they do not need to have access to Sierra in order to get that information. So that's one thing I wanted to kind of touch base on. The other one I wanted to, for before statistics, I can go here, close this, and go to high demand report is also mentioned here for if any of you are in charge of um, knowing what this, you can set the threshold for high demands. Let's say if there are 8 in consecutive um, simultaneous holds on a title, you need to order it, right? That is in admin parameters, circulation, and in general. realize that, look at this and say, okay, this one we want to order, this one we don't want to order. You can export it and send give it to anybody who makes that decision as well. So this is the high demand, high host demand report that automatically generated based on the threshold that you set up. So um, you can place orders on items that too many people are actually looking, waiting for it for too long. So these are different reports. Now, what I want to do is actually close this and go to create list and start talking from there. What is my create list? So it depends on how familiar you are with create list. You can do amazing stuff with it. You really can find a lot of information that is in your system. Now, with your Sierra, you also have the option of SQL searches, and those you can. I think John is an expert on that one actually. Um, you can find there are a lot of information that is held in tables in Sierra that are available using SQL searches, not from CreateList. CreateList is a really good place for the information, the data that has been added to the record, so you can find it. For CreateList, what you want to do is to make sure you know um, where the information that you want stored. In other words, first of all, which record type they are stored in. Yours would be on the order record, right? The second thing would be whether it's going to be fixed length code or um, a variable length field. So once you decide on that, then it will be easier to find the material. So the first thing we want to location. Um, First we do location call number. I want to put it this way, but the statistics I'm not going to get right here. So location, are you in that question that you had for the chat question, is to create an annual report what we spend by location and by call number. So what you are spending. So the first thing would be in this case, we are going to spend looking at order records, okay? And then we say order field would be um, you want to have it with paid field, what you spend. Now you have other options. You can do it by order date, you can do it by receive date, or you can do it now what you have in addition to what you used to have in Millennium is paid and receive date. So in your case, we want to, if I read your question correctly, what you have spent for that fiscal year. So paid date, I would say between W between let's say we'll do 01, 01, 16, 15, and 12, 31, 50. So that's, let's say, we do it for the year. And in append to that, if I want to do, um, I can do bibliographic or order. If you keep your location in your order record, you can search it by order record and location. We wanted to do with location. So did I just had it? Yes. So by location equal to, let's say, if you do it um, with bibliographic location, I'm sure you have hierarchical um, uh, location, which location. So in other words, you will have one for um, San Mateo Library and one for other libraries that you have. Um, so that would be a bib location, and then you can have item location. So if we do, let's do it this way. Instead of order, let's do a bibliographic location, and location equals to M for main. No, let's do for East Library. Okay. So now it's all the items that were paid during that period for that location. And by the way, when you do this, you have to, last one, you have to click on another box just to make sure that the search goes through. Let's see, in this case we found four, but the concept is the same. So you can find the records. What I would do, I would take that create list and I would go to statistics. What is my statistics now? I know it's right here. I've been staring at the computer for too long. I'm cross-eyed now. Get it. Statistics. Okay. Now I can run a new query and call it East location. Orders for East location. How about that? Orders for East location. I can use the arrow. And instead of range, I'm going to use the review file. And I'm going to find the one that I just created. Location. Okay. And because it's ordered, automatically reported on order, and I can run a field statistics on those or on that review file. I can split multi if there are copies, more than one copy. So in your case, that probably would be a good idea. And limit the result by a time range because we selected that. And the fastest accumulation for us in this case it doesn't matter. So because it is four of them, and it's going to run the statistics against those four titles. So I can say view orders. So now I have control titles, and I have all the fixed length codes. And if now this is the difference. You want it by call number, okay? Um, I should have done. This is what I should have done, and this is you would have caught me if we were we were face to face in create list, because if I store it in order, let me bring up the report again. If I store something in order, here the type, you don't see item records. Now, your consortium, and if I were to guess, I would say your call numbers are on, in your item record. So please tell me where your um, call numbers are. Are you all using the same call number, and that's in your, yes, in the items? Okay, so your call numbers are in the item. So for this search, what I would do, I would not store it in the order record. I would store it in the bibliographic record, because that way I have access to order records as well as item records. So I can go with orders and still use pay date bib location. Okay. You can use the comment is, but in our consortium, the location code does not show in bib record, so you can use that in the location from the item record. You can do start with, and for maybe another year until innovative let us. Oh, because the report that you want is actually generated in Decision Center really easily. If you go through the evaluation, the first portion, that report actually exists there. Um, so that it's there. But since we are doing create list, this is bibliographic. Let's go to item location and let's run it. And again, this shouldn't take very long. So add one and view report. This way, it will give you the price for the item, and that can be your expenditure, and then it has the call number here because in order to see both expenditure and the call number, they are in two different types of records that are not related. So you may have to run two reports, one in as an order record in order to get how much is spent, and then one by item records for the call number. But those two don't break. But you have Decision Center. Decision Center absolutely does that for you. Okay. Is that something that you haven't used the Decision Center for this purpose? Because as I am going through this and I hear more about your setup, um, the call numbers don't have anything to do with your order record. So unfortunately, I can't think of any way to do that. Ah, yeah. Um, no, because if it would be possible. Um, John, is that you have canceled it already, or do you still have Decision Center? You said it for another year, right? So it's still available to your staff? Oh, okay. So it's available for another year. Absolutely, you can get the what you're looking for in Decision Center for another year anyway. Um, for what you want, because otherwise, it's not. It's whenever we talk about create list. Let me go to create list and close this one up. Whenever we talk about create list and how you store records, that's why it's so important. If I go here, if it's bibliographic, storing in bibliographic, then because all these records are attached to the same record, you can store, you can get the a lot of work. It's not an easy way to get what you want. But for the following year, you have decision center, and maybe by then the statistics will change. I doubt it, but um, this is the only way to do it right now. And as far as um, different one of you still tell the person okay to contact. You can also I got a message from John that yes, this is also available using SQL, and you can contact him to get exactly what they want. Yes, SQL is another easy way to get it when you know SQL searches, but you have John, so yes, contact John to get it via SQL. In the meantime, you don't even have to contact him because it's available in Decision Center. But SQL is a really easy way of getting that information um, to um, the way you want it. Okay. Okay. So those were create list. The other thing I wanted to also show you in create list. Cancel this. Is that the new uh, uh, portions that are available in Create List. You're used to classic Create List, but there is also Enhance. And what the difference is with the Enhance and Classic, let's say if I'm going to search for bibliographic record and I'm looking for a material type, I want to find equal to books. Um, the option here is if I were to use the classic, it would be if I'm looking for material type for books or audiovisual um, or CDs, let's say, I would have to write this structure every time. Select bibliographic record, material type equal to this or blah. So the enhance, what it does, it gives you this option, add a new term. And then as you see, that it assumes that it's bibliographic and material type. Select the operator. I'm going to change this to or and select the operator equal to, and now I'm going to select something else, music printed. Or it understands that equal to, and I can select something else. So in a lot of ways, it has enhanced the way you do search. Now, in addition to this, I can add another type. When I click on the plus sign at the beginning on the top, it gives me a um, whole new uh, search. So again, I can search for the bibliographic, select the field, let's say location, equals to uh, E4 Emeryville Public. Okay. Now, for these, if I want to um, nest them, I can do the click and then click again. Oh, I'm sorry. I can click on this and then click on the top. Now it's nesting them these together, so it will be material type book or printed music or MS Math, and the location has to be this. So in a way, it has improved things quite a bit as far as less keystrokes. In addition to that, people were asking to see them in JSON, people who understand, I think John probably understands this language. This is they wanted to see how the search was done, if they wanted to create the search in SQL or they wanted to know more about it. It's available now, but we don't train on that one, but it's available. So those are some of the improvements. And then in addition to that, let me see, there was a chat message. Let me look at that. Um, in addition to that, if we go back to, we can go from classic to, let me cancel, close this, and go back. The fields that you have available now to you in classic, there are a lot more. So from bibliographic record, you can do, now you had marked searches that you could do, but you can also do bold searches. So from the bibliographic record search, you can um, find a lot more information on the uh, hold fields that they were not available to you before. If I cancel and go back here to item record, fields that are available now, in addition to what you had, also you are gonna find some fields that they are 4 digit or 4 letters, um, letters and digits. These are new. These are available to you in Sierra, but also codes from an item search, uh, finds that were not available before. So um, you can do search as, with finds, and also with bookings. If you have materials booking, these searches were not available at all. The information were in the system, but they weren't available. So now they are available in Create List. If we do order searches, now you can have fields as a paid field. These again, these are brand new in Sierra. So foreign amounts, foreign codes, uh, paid from date, paid copies. So these are available. Also information about the receipt, received funds, location, items, and date. And again, it kind of opens up two doors. One, there are more stuff available using Create List with the new field, but also you have a lot more stuff available using SQL searches and um, uh, in addition to Create List or in conjunction with Create List. So these are other things about Create List that I wanted to show you and cover. Is there any other questions, any comments, anything else? We have another half an hour to go. So um, is there anything else you want me covered? Anything else you want to go over? Um, or are you absolutely cross-eyed staring at the screen? I have covered everything that it was on the agenda. Is there anything else? Don, is there anything you want me to go over? Thank you very much. You guys have been very great, gracious, quiet group. Um, you have John has my information. If there is anything that the questions come up um, afterwards, that in next week or so, if you have, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Thank you all.
The chairperson has disconnected. The conference will now end.